And welcome back to the Black Tornado Podcast, your home for underground metal. Today, I'm sitting in with Nick from Thrown to the Hole and Eaten by Rats. What's up, brother?
How's it going, man? Happy to be here.
Hey, all right, man. I appreciate that. We've got a one-man sludge doom metal from North Jersey. All right. So, right off the bat, because you're doom sludge, what do you think about the rebirth of Acid Bath?
You know, I don't really know Acid Bath all that well.
Oh, you got to fix that, brother.
Yeah. I've been hearing about them like crazy. It's weird. I only listen to a small handful of bands in the genre that I'm writing. I actually just got out
because you don't want to pull influence, right?
Yeah, part of it, because I was just out of a grunge project, very
cool.
heavily like Nirvana influenced, and I found that I was having trouble songwriting because I was almost trying to do Nirvana.
Yeah, instead of doing you. I get that. I get that. That's why with me, while there's a lot of other really great metal podcasts out there, I try not to listen to them too much because I don't want to accidentally take from them.
For sure.
Like subconsciously, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Well, dude, there's 2 albums.
Okay.
And they're I mean, I'm not counting like the demos and the B-sides. I'm talking the 2 main. There's 2 main Acid Bath records, and they both absolutely rip.
Oh shit! Is that a John Wayne Gacy?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you know what?
Yeah, when the kite string pops.
That's good to know because I totally have a John Wayne Gacy sample on this album. So
a really funny thing, and we're going to talk about you. We're not going to talk about Acid Bath forever. They didn't want to use that cover. The record label made them use that cover.
Is that so? Yeah,
Acid Bath has a very interesting story that I recommend checking out. But we'll get it. We'll save that for another day. We're here to talk about Thrown to the Hole and Eaten by Rats. So my first question is, how'd you come up with such a name?
Oh man, so that comes mostly from my influences.
Okay.
I've always loved the bands with like a ridiculously hefty name, and that
like a lot of like the core bands, right? Like with like 5 words.
Yep. That started from a band from, I believe they're from New Zealand or Australia. They're called Blindfolded and Led to the Woods.
That's a crazy long name.
Yeah, they're nuts. And then I recently saw Chained to the Bottom of the Ocean.
Oh, I played them. I love those dudes.
Oh, dude, they're ridiculous. They're just, I don't even have the words for them. And then Dragged into Sunlight, of course, is just probably the heaviest anything that I've ever heard.
Hell so yeah. Chained to the Bottom of the Ocean. I played them sometime last year. And I don't remember if it was an Ian show or who was on, but I remember talking about like how crazy that name was. Yeah, that's cool because a lot of the like core bands and stuff, especially like the mid 2000s, a lot of them had like crazy long names.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. All right, let's speaking of your music, let's jump right in. We are going to listen to this is The Woods of the Suicides. All right, man. Talk me through a little bit of like the writing and recording process.
All right, so I I like to kind of I center it very heavily on an idea. So what we just listened to is actually based on Dante's Inferno. So I'll
Oh,
start
nice.
with a lot of it's actually based on literature. There's three songs on the upcoming album that have to do with literature in some regard. So I'll start there, and then I mean it's probably pretty typical. You go into a riff. I lay down some very fundamental drums, all like 6 track the guitar, get a bass going over it, and then the vocals I'll actually 50-50. I'll write ahead of time or I'll write as I'm singing. And I find that the rawness of what comes directly to mind often can be a big improvement on the stuff that I can tend to overthink what I'm writing prior. So I'll try to do a lot of like it's it's not jazz, but like
Right.
I like that idea that like first thought, best thought.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. I get it. So what made you want to do a one man project?
So like I said prior, I just got out of a grunge band. We were a 3-man, um, very Nirvana influenced band, and we recently just broke up. And throughout the band, I was always thinking like I'm not exactly getting to do to the fullest extent the writing I want to do. I'm kind of writing it more for like the small venues in my area. There's like certain things they want to hear. And I didn't like that. It felt artificial. So I
Hmm.
decided if I'm doing it myself, I have full control over the reins of everything. And it's more my music than I don't know. I feel as though I may have been holding myself back based on the expectations either from the band or from like the local scene.
Sure. No, I mean, and that makes absolute sense. I mean, the upside is everything gets to go exactly the way that you want it. I guess the downside that I would think of is, maybe a bit of loneliness. It is kind of cool when you get together, like you said, from your grunge band. So I'm sure you have some fond memories of doing that, but it's kind of cool when you get in a room with a bunch of people and jam.
For sure, for sure. And that's part of the hard part. I'm looking into once the album is out into performing, and I just, I'm thinking gig musicians, I'm looking into these one-man projects, and it's a lot of a lot of thinking I'm going to have to do, but thinking I'll do a little later from now.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that'll give you time to figure out your hired gun situation and how you want to go about recruiting people.
Mhm.
You'd brought this, you'd talked super briefly about it, but I'm really interested. How is the Jersey metal scene?
It's really nice. A lot of people talk about how they find that it's on a downhill or on a decline.
Hmm.
Um there's always going to be projects that don't put effort, and there's always going to be people that come to shows that are assholes because that's
Hmm.
that's it's life. That's people.
That's
That's everyone.
life. Yep.
And I guess there's been an uptick on it recently. But from when I was playing these grunge shows, we'd be hooked up with metal bands a lot. There's some great metal bands in Jersey, and we'd be at the same venue, and I'm like, dude, you gotta like get out of here. You gotta go play the city. You gotta go play Philly. You gotta go play like
You spread your wings and fly.
yeah, like I saw some people that just really like I'm trying to look through the list right now and see if there's anyone that like pops off the top of my head.
Man,
Um
send them my way. I'd love to
yeah,
check them out.
I for sure will. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's people talk bad about it, but I think that's unfair. I think there's some wonderful talent that comes out of it.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and not to toot my own horn or pat myself on the back, but like that's the whole purpose of this program
Yeah.
is so people in Illinois and people in Wisconsin and people in Indiana and people in the UK and the Philippines can check out, you know, sludgy, doomy metal from Jersey that they'd probably never hear otherwise.
Hell yeah, and I really appreciate that. I think what you're doing is awesome.
I appreciate you saying that, man. I mean, it's a pretty niche program. One, you have to be a metalhead. Two, you have to be a metalhead that's willing to go out of your regular comfort zone and listen to basically, again, not to pat myself on the back, but you have to be willing to trust me that I'm
Yeah.
going to deliver, you know what I mean, that I'm going to deliver good music.
Hmm.
And I try my best. I mean, I don't play anything that I don't like. I've had won't name names because that's really rude, but I've had people come talk to me, and I just wasn't really a fan of their music, so I had to pass on it.
Can't dig everything.
No, and it's kind of unfair to the audience that at this point, the people that have been listening for a long time now, trust me, trust that I'm not gonna give them, deliver them something that I don't think is up to par, and
Hmm.
but yeah, like I said, yeah, if you've got some buddies out there in Jersey that you think should get some love, man, yeah, tell them to get in touch with me. That would be awesome.
Yeah, after this, I'll definitely get in contact with them, and I'll shoot your name out there a couple
That'd
heads.
be
Yeah.
sweet. So speaking of Jersey, if a listener does find themselves in Jersey, where do they go? Where's the places that maybe a local venue or a good record shop? Where's a place a metalhead has to pop in if they're in North Jersey or Jersey in
That's
general, I guess.
yeah. That's an awesome question. I'll two-part that. So
Okay.
first is venues. There are like three that come to mind off the top of my head. The first one is the best one. If you've ever heard of the Meat Locker in Montclair,
I have not.
it's this basement on like this strip of stores, and it's covered in graffiti, covered in stickers. It's
Nice.
a very, like, dare I say, like, it's gonna sound like I'm insulting them, but I mean it with love. It's a dubious environment. It's
Yes.
really like, the ceiling is too short. It feels like if there's a fire, not saying if there's a fire in there, it's not, good, but like it's
Right.
small and it's confined and it's metal as shit. And I love it.
That's
And then
awesome.
there's
Hell yeah.
Dingbats in Clifton, great bar slash, a lot of introductory bands. I also, it's weird. Sometimes big bands. I saw Suffocation there. I got my
Sick.
ass handed to me.
Nice.
It was wonderful. And then Debonair Music Hall in Teaneck. That's a great one for more of like a dine and listen to music experience.
Nice.
And then record stores. Oh man, there's a record store right next to a train station
Cool.
in I believe it's a used record store. Station 1 Books and Vinyl.
Oh, cool.
It's in Pompton Lakes. I'm also a big reader. As
Yeah.
I said earlier, so they have like used books, used records, picked up some like they've got like a deluxe edition of Smashing Pumpkins Melancholy that I'm myself not because it's expensive, but I fucking
Is
love that
that that
album.
is that that one that like box set that they only made so many hundred of?
Uh-huh. That's the
Yeah,
one.
they had that at one of my local shops, and the day they posted it, I'm nothing against them. I'm not a big Smashing Pumpkins fan, but
Yeah.
the day they posted it, it sold like an hour later.
Wow.
So there's obviously, I mean, again, I'm not talking smack about the band. I just happen to not, whatever their handful of hits were, I know those and I like them. I just never did a deep dive into Smashing Pumpkins.
I gotcha.
But I know that they have a hardcore fan base, and I can appreciate the hell out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. So what's the progress on the album Rat Bite Fever?
So we're moving. I need about the hardest thing is I live at home
Yeah.
and screaming the way I scream is short to disturb people. So I
Yes.
gotta do it when one's here. I'd say about 2 or 3 more sessions of vocals and editing some like there's some surprise vocals coming from a certain animal that I
Oh, cool.
had the misfortune of this is gonna sound so crazy. You probably
Yeah.
haven't had someone. I'm just gonna come clean with it. I have a
Okay.
pet pig.
Whoa, that's cool.
Uh, He's a piece of shit, but he can scream like a son of a bitch.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I'm working on one more track.
Yeah.
It's a longer one. It's 12 minutes, and
Yeah.
I am having the pig lend a hand in the vocal department. So there's some editing for there. There's 2 days
Yeah.
of singing, and then
Oh, that's really cool. That's kind of like have you ever heard of the band K9?
oh my god, yes, they
Yes, you
rip.
know K9. Do you
Yes.
know Hate Beak?
Hate Beak. I was just gonna bring up Hate Beak. Yup.
Dude, I'm so happy that you know not only do you know K9, but you know Hate Beak. That's sick.
And I love Hate Beak because I had a pet bird. That's actually what the next song, Clipped Wings and Forced Lobotomies, is about. I had a pet bird, and then it's such a weird thing to write a metal song about, but like my bird
Yeah.
died, and I was really
Ah,
feeling negative about it.
I get it,
And
man. I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, thank you. It just kind of it's weird that like my big experience with death was, it's still a pet, but it's a bird.
Hey, man, a pet loss, especially one that lives in your house, that is akin to losing a family member. My
For sure.
cat of 9.5 years passed away last year, and I was completely
Oh,
inconsolable for weeks.
I'm so sorry to hear that, man.
It was brutal. So I get
Yeah,
it when somebody, and I don't downplay the loss of a pet in any way, shape, or form. To me, it's no different than losing any other member of your family. To me, it's the
for sure.
exact same thing.
I appreciate that.
So I totally get it. But speaking of that, let's jump into it. This
All
is
right.
clipped wings and forced lobotomies. Coming back from that, Doomy riffs with like the pain in the vocals almost acts like an instrument.
Wow.
You know what I mean? The aggression, the rawness of the vocals, it's like its own instrument.
That's quite the compliment. I really appreciate that.
That's what I heard when I listened to it. That's what I got.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Hell yeah,
That
brother. Hell
means
yeah.
a lot.
So talk me through this one a little bit.
Yeah, so it was influenced by two things. I've always been a bird lover. This actually
Sure.
kind of falls back to the Kurt Cobain thing. He had a big sympathy for animals that, you know, would be in a cage.
Yeah.
And towards the end of my bird's life, I realized a couple of things about bird keeping culture just didn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
The keeping in the cage, which I understand is partially for safety, but
Safety, right?
that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and clipping wings,
Oh, that's
which
brutal.
yeah, it they would tell us it's like a nail clipping for them, but the bird would freak out like it was his last day on the planet. And then
Well,
it
they
takes a
used to say that about cats. They used to say that clipping, oh, you declaw 'em. And then years later, we find out that's the equivalent of a human of taking your finger and cutting down the first knuckle.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
not
and that's
just, it's not painless. It's incredibly painful.
yeah. And that's how I
Yeah,
feel about the wing clipping. I feel like
right.
imagine if you're robbing their ability, their main ability of movement. They fly in nature. That's what they do. And that feeling kind of like gutted up in me and just felt gross. And I was like, oh
Sure.
wow, wait a minute. There's some just this has to be a song.
Well, that's because you have sympathy and you're not a psychopath. I mean, the way
Sure.
that I could, listeners, anybody hearing this, think of it in this sense. Think of it as somebody slicing your Achilles tendon.
Yeah.
We're humans, we walk, that's how we get around. So if somebody slices your Achilles tendon, it's going to be incredibly painful and difficult to walk around. So if we're clipping the wings of these birds, is that much different? No, it probably isn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, the obviously, uh, terrible conditions that some of these pet owners, do and their practices and
Yeah.
whatnot. But I'm a firm believer in that really good music does come from some really deep, dark, sometimes negative places.
For sure.
And it's a good way for just as us as people. I don't care if you're writing a song or you're writing a poem. It's good to get these things out in a good, productive way, and you seem to have done that with this song.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. It it took a couple songs that didn't work
Sure.
to yeah, there's 6 or 7 songs that were written for this album that just didn't make the cut because they didn't really have that same kind of feeling.
Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, I think when you're sitting there and you're planning an album, and however many songs, it could be 8 songs, it could be 10 songs, be whatever you want. I think you get to a point where you go, okay, I really like these, but they don't go with the message that this album is trying to convey,
Absolutely.
right? So I kind of get that. A buddy of mine was he has this old crappy guitar that he just kind of like it's like his couch guitar. He
Mhm.
doesn't really record with it, but he just kind of riffs with it. And he was going, yeah, he's going. I started sticker bombing the guitar because I don't really care about that one. He goes, but I'm not just putting anything on. He goes, it has to be like a theme. And I said, well,
Ooh.
what do you mean? He's like, well, like with bands per se. He goes, I wouldn't put a grindcore band on, even though I listen to him. He goes, because I don't play grindcore. He's like, so it has to all be. Yeah, I think he said death metal. He was like, it all has to be death metal bands. But I'm only picking ones that I know at least one song by the band.
Hmm.
And I said, so you can look at the guitar and you see I don't know, a deicide or a suffocation, and you go, oh, I this one song by them. And he goes, yeah. He goes, you're getting it. So yeah, even with stuff like that, like having a theme is, I get it. It's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see here. Okay, so I want to get into my little nerdy bit because for the most part, I think I ask everybody this question. Everybody's a musician in one way, shape, or form that comes on the show. I'm a big pedal nerd.
Oh,
Uh,
fuck yeah.
doesn't have to be a pedal, but I always ask everybody, what is your favorite piece of gear?
Okay. I got I got one that's like a staple, and
Okay.
then one that it's waiting to come in the mail now. That's
Ooh,
going to
nice.
change my sound.
Sick.
The one I'm using now is the Way Huge Swollen Pickle Fuzz.
Yes. Nice. Yes.
I I'm in love with the sound that that thing can do. It can do like a lighter type of fuzz, like an old timier fuzz, and then you can get that like heavy wall of distortion, and it's
Yeah.
just such a great piece. And I got it used. It was only like 100 something bucks. It was such a great
Nice.
steal. And then
Yeah, I have. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I
sorry,
can
and then
carry on about fuzz pedals, and I'm trying not to.
the what are they called? Does It Doom, I believe they're called. They have
Oh
one called
yeah.
the Doom Saw.
Yes, I know the
I've got
Doom Saw. Totally.
oh, that thing is gnarly. That thing is gnarly.
Now the Doom Saw, is that the one that just has the one dial, correct?
And it just says grief.
Yes. Yes.
That's
So
so nice.
quick thing, and this goes out to everybody. So I have that, and I screwed mine up. So, and it was not them, it was of me. I made a mistake. Do yourself a favor, for you, Nick, and anybody listening to this program. When you get that pedal and you put it on your board, do not run that pedal through your power supply. Run that pedal independently with
Oh
its
no.
own power supply. Because if you don't, and you do what I did, you'll mess it up.
I'm very happy you told me that.
Run it on its own thing.
Okay.
Yep. Do yourself a favor. Now, you can get it repaired and power to you, and apparently it's a pretty easy process to send it back, and then they'll fix it for you. But why go through all that hassle?
For sure.
Just when you're running your compressor and your tuner and all that, great. Run all that through the power supply. That particular pedal, at least from my own personal experience, run that on its own independent 9-volt adapter.
All right. Good to know.
And if you do that, you're going to be golden.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have mine that's covered in dust because I've just been too lazy to send it back in to have them fix it.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Okay. So what kind of tuning are we in? Are we in C standard? What are we doing?
Yeah, we're in drop C. So
Drop C.
C, yeah. Mostly because I've only got 6 stringers.
Gotcha.
And I'd go a lot heavier, but I don't want to screw up my guitars, honestly.
Understand. Yeah.
So I've also found that like I did a bit of research before I really got into this project because I wasn't super familiar with the tunings, and I found that you don't really need to go as dubiously low tuning as I expected for the genre. Like there's people working in in C, and that works for them. So, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think anywhere you get around C, you're gonna be just fine. I've got one of my basses set up in C standard, and then I run I'm gonna do my quick plug for fuzz. I use the Earthquake Devices Huzmatus fuzz pedal.
Ooh,
And you run that with a compressor, and it just rips your fucking face off, man. It's so goddamn heavy.
that's awesome. I've heard great things about that company.
Well, I mean, you know the band Boris, like
Yeah,
that's been their pedal for I think like 15 years or something. So my logic was like, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me.
for
And I
sure. If
bought
it,
it. I probably have like 5 or 6 other fuzz pedals, and they're all good. Don't get me wrong,
yeah,
but desert island situation. If I had to bring one fuzz pedal, like it's no question that's the one I'm bringing, and relatively inexpensive. I think it was like $180, something like that. It was under $200.
okay, yeah, that's nice. That's
And
doable.
new it was under $200, and it absolutely fucking rips. So if anybody's looking for fuzz, that is one way to go about it. So I saw on your Instagram you have some really cool shirts. Where can people go and get themselves a T-shirt?
Oh yeah. So for now, It is on spring.com. It's the easiest way is to go to the Instagram, thrown to the hole and eat by rats, and just
Okay.
follow the link in the bio.
Nice.
I do have a connection to someone who makes t-shirts. So
Okay.
as soon as the album is out and I'm gonna be, you know, playing locally, hopefully trying to play a little further than locally.
Sure.
Um, I will be selling shirts physically,
Yeah.
mailing, because I'll have them made physically. So I'll
Right.
pivot, but for now, spring.com. It'll take a little longer for the stuff to get to you because it's all
Print
made
on
by order.
demand. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've had no problem with them in the past. I have a friend who worked with them, and that seemed to work really well. So for
He's
now,
happy with
that's
his product.
yeah.
Cool. Nice. Nice. Yeah. When you start making them by hand, man, I rock a 2X. So set one to the side for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, those are sweet. I keep saying like one day I'm gonna do a video because like I have a all metalheads have their black closet of t-shirts. I have a
Yep,
closet full of just underground bands that I've like played on the show or like are friends of mine. I've got a whole section of just those bands.
that is so cool.
I'm at the point now where I don't like if you catch me out, like you won't see me wearing, and I'm not saying anything negative, but you won't see me wearing like a mainstream metal band anymore because so many of my friends or like uh, people involved at the show, either interviews or sending in music or whatever. I wear so much of their stuff that I don't have time to wear like my old Metallica t-shirts anymore.
Yeah,
I'm too
too
busy.
many days a week.
Yeah, I'm too busy representing like, the underground bands and stuff. So yeah, when you get the physical ones made up, you'll have to stay in contact with me.
Absolutely, man, for sure.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, this was cool, man. Thank you very much for coming on the show. And when the album comes out, stay in contact with me.
For
I'll
sure.
add it to the story. I'll post it up on Facebook page and all that stuff, and I'll make sure people know that it's available.
Man, I really appreciate everything you're doing for us.
Yeah, dude,
For
fuck
me
yeah,
and bands like me, that's like you know that little hump in the beginning is the hardest part. So that's real
yeah,
important what you're doing.
and yeah, no, I totally get it, and this is where like this is the little bump that can not only get more viewers and listeners and what, but for a lot of bands just starting out, this is that little hump of like positive reinforcement that
Absolutely.
carries them to finish the record, to start working on the next record, to tour more. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and that's the whole purpose of it. So, like, if people like yourself or these other bands, if they're taking that away from this, then I've done my part. You know what I mean?
For sure, man.
So, outside of Instagram, are there any other socials?
Let's see. What do I even have? I'm actually like I'm I'm an old man at heart. I've got Bandcamp, Instagram, I've got YouTube,
Okay.
and then anywhere you'll find music, the Spotify's, the Apple Musics,
Yeah.
those will be there as well. But
Okay.
I'm not
Nice.
huge on the social media thing, so Instagram's my main hub.
I think that's most bands. I would say for at least the last 8 years,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't use Facebook anymore. Mostly it's Instagram, and then they'll do a free.
Yeah.
Here's my Bandcamp, here's my YouTube page, so on and so forth. So I think you're amongst friends in that regard. That's what most people do. But okay, so when this comes up, as always, everybody, as soon as the show ends, make sure to check out Thrown to the Hole and Eaten by Rats. You'll see the Instagram link when this gets posted. So again, thanks to Nick for coming on the show. This is a good time, brother. Thank you very much for coming on.
Hey, thanks again for having me. I really appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah, dude, absolutely. All right, we're gonna wrap this one up. And as always, I'm your host, Adam. This is your home for underground metal. Be good, take care of each other, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace out.